What is up, guys? It is the Bluebloods here, and I told y'all we're doing it big this all season. We have the ninth national championship for the North Dakota State Bison, and we got a three-time champion coming on the show today. Phoenix Sproles on the show, North Dakota State wide receiver, an intricate part in the dynasty that has been built up there in Fargo, North Dakota. But man, Phoenix, appreciate you joining on the coming on the show, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is gonna be fun.
Oh man, it is. It is. A lot of Bison fan are excited to hear your guys' stories and perspectives on the season, man. But we got to go way back. I know you've been in college for a while now, three-time Natty winner. But going back to your high school recruiting process, what was it like, and what schools are recruiting you the hardest?
And it was just chaotic. You got a bunch of people reaching out to you. You don't really know where you want to go yet. You're learning about new colleges, yada yada yada. But the bigger schools or the schools that were recruiting me, like my top, when it was all said and done, like my top three or top five was like NDSU, University of Wyoming, Northern Illinois University, University of Northern Iowa, and South Dakota State. And those are like all like pretty good schools that like have just winning cultures. So it was definitely a tough decision, but ultimately, what made that decision easy was wanting to win, and no one did it better or does it better than NDSU. So it was a straightforward decision.
I know you mentioned the winning, and that's a big factor, man. But walk me through some of the other factors. Which coaches were on you the hardest? Did you know some players on the team already? Walk me through, outside of the greatest dynasty in sports right now. What else led you to North Dakota State?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, the fan base. I knew how many people love the Bison. Being from Minneapolis, about 3 hours away, I always heard about NDSU, but never really gave it much attention because obviously the big school was the Gophers, being from Minnesota. But just hearing about that fan base, I had teachers in my high school that attended NDSU that played football there. Had two former teammates play there from high school, and then coaching or the whole coaching staff that recruited me ended up going to K State after my freshman year. Coach Kleiman and my receivers coach and a bunch of other coaches as well all went to K State after my freshman year. So those are kind of the guys that recruited me. So I had really good relationships with them prior to obviously leaving to K State. But the relationships I had with Coach Kleiman, uh, Coach Messingham, the offensive coordinator, they just made me feel at home and made me feel like I was going to be a part of something great, which I was my freshman year because we ended up winning the national championship. So it was like a dream come true.
Oh man, it was. And you mentioned the coaching change. Funny enough, I just graduated from Kansas State this past fall, so Chris, a big Chris Kleiman fan over here as well.
Yeah.
So we'll agree on that. But how tough was the coaching change after the 2018 season? It's your true freshman season, man. Y'all win a natty. Was there ever any consideration about going to K State with Coach Kleiman? And how did you adjust as a player to a whole new coaching staff coming in?
I didn't have any like kind of like aspirations to go to K State because one, I wasn't like the main receiver at the time. It was Darius Shepard who was like the big time receiver. I was kind of like a rotational when he got tired come in and whatnot. So I knew I wasn't like a big time receiver to like want to go Pac-12 or I'm sorry Big 12. So I knew I didn't really have a chance there, and I wasn't even thinking about it. So it was kind of out the question. So I knew I wanted to stay, and Shep was a senior my freshman year, so I knew I had to step up the following year. So it was kind of like I was already in play to be a starting receiver the following year. So I didn't think about leaving it to K State. And then what was the other question? I'm sorry.
How hard was it for you as a young player to adjust to an entirely new coaching staff?
Yeah, so Coach Entz and Coach Kleiman recruited me together. So Coach Entz would come to my high school, Cooper High School, and I had a good relationship with him already. So when he became the head coach, it was kind of like a big sign of relief because I wasn't worried about, man, if a new guy comes in, is he gonna like me? Am I gonna play? Like blah blah blah. So when Coach Entz came in, we didn't skip a beat. We obviously won the championship the following year. Um, Coach Entz is a good coach, and I'm glad he got the head job because I don't know what could have happened if someone else had gotten it that I personally didn't have a connection with. So it was a really easy adjustment for me, and I think for the rest of the team as well because we didn't change hardly anything. So it was pretty good.
Man, and listen, it worked out for the best. Coach Ent's multiple time national champion now, and you guys are still the face of the FCS, so you can't hate the hire at all. But
Yep.
man, let's get to this season. Clearly the number one thing people are going to talk about is 9 national championships since 2011. Which I don't, in my opinion, I mentioned this. We had Destin Talbert on as well, the
Hmm.
greatest dynasty in college football. I don't think anyone is ever going to touch it or can touch it. And it's not over because you guys are reloaded for next season as well, including yourself
Yep.
coming back for another season. But outside of the championship, man, what were your final takeaways for this season, and how difficult was it to play 2 full seasons in a calendar year?
Yeah. That's actually, I think I wouldn't say an advantage, but with those 2 seasons back to back, I didn't play the whole spring season. So we had a game in the fall. That was Trey Lance's last game against Central Arkansas. We had one game in the fall. I ended up while I was blocking, some got ran to the back of my leg. I ended up tearing my knee that one game we had in the fall. So I missed the whole spring season and didn't get to play, and then was ready to go for the fall. So in my defense, I didn't really have to go through the back-to-back seasons, but just being around my teammates, it was a lot. It's a lot of football. We practice hard. Like it's not easy. So we definitely, a lot of guys were banged up. A lot of more guys are doing treatment, whatever it may be. But we knew what we had to do. That spring season was probably one of our worst seasons we've had. We ended our winning streak, didn't make it to Frisco. So it was probably one of our worst seasons we've had since I've been here in college. But we, as a group, as a team, we decided we got to turn it around. We got more football to play this upcoming fall. Let's get back on our P's and Q's. Let's get back to it. And look what you see. You see the results, and we got it together. And I think that was just how those 2 seasons went together.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that because the spring season, which this is even crazy coming out of my mouth. You've mentioned it was a bad season. You guys made it to the semifinals and
Yeah.
almost won that game. So if that's a bad season, that's one heck of a program. But was the mindset any different? Because I know, me covering FCS, I heard some media say, has the rest of the FCS caught up with North Dakota State? Are they the kings of the FCS anymore?
Hmm.
Was the mindset in the locker room any different this season now that you guys were not the defending champions?
In a sense, yes, because it was like, we took a step back because our coaches don't always say it. They don't like saying it, but the expectation is to win a national championship. They always say, just win conference and everything else will take care of itself. But as players, we know we didn't come to win a conference championship. We came to win a national championship. So as players, we held ourselves way more accountable with each other as players. So we needed more out of each other because we knew 7-3 semifinals is unacceptable. That's not what we do here. It's not what the guys did before us here. It's not what this program's going to do after we leave. So we had to get back on track. And it was like the upperclassmen, myself and the guys that just graduated or that are no longer playing anymore. We sat together as a leadership group, put out our goals with our head coach, and I think we accomplished every single one of our goals, honestly, that we had out on that board. So, the mindset was changed, but for the better.
Oh man, I like it. So I know all of them are special in their own way, man. But I'm gonna put you on the spot here. Which one of your 3 national championship runs were the toughest in your opinion?
The toughest one, I, I'd have to say this year, um, 2018. I think that was Easton Stick was the starting quarterback. If I can remember correctly, we were killing teams. We were beating teams by 21 minimum. We were putting up points. We were unstoppable. 2018, 2019 Trey season, we dominated that year too. If I can, we hung in there with I want to say Illinois State. It was like 9-3, all field goal game, all field goals. That was a tough game for us, but for the most part, I feel like we had a pretty good, solid season that year. And then, so I'd say this one was probably the hardest because obviously that loss to South Dakota State, the switch quarterbacks changes, just COVID, maneuvering through a lot of different things this year. Definitely had a big role in getting to the championship, and a a lot of adversity. We had to go through a lot of adversity as well. So I'd say this was the biggest one, the hardest one, I would say.
Oh man, I like it. That's also what Destin said as well. He
Mhm.
said this one was by far the toughest. But man, you don't build a dynasty like this overnight. I mean, this dynasty has lasted across multiple different coaches, endless amounts of players, assistant coaches, fan. I mean, everything. You guys have lasted over 11 seasons now. For you though, being inside the program, what would you say are the keys to the culture that has been built in Fargo?
I think it's just so I want to say the upperclassmen leadership. Um, uh, it starts with the older guys. Like when I got in my freshman year, obviously probably a bunch of other programs do this as well, but just the older guys. Like, cause we're not Power Five, we're not Alabama or Ohio State. We don't have guys going to the NFL in 2 years or playing 2 or 3 seasons and going to the NFL. We have guys that stay here for 4 to 5 years, guaranteed. Like you're gonna get 4 to 5 years out of us. So just how those guys just go from like some walk-ons, some full scholarship guys are turning into captains, and they're teaching me how to run routes. Like guys that probably weren't even ranked in high school are all of a sudden all Americans, and just kind of hard to explain, but just having those older guys tell you what to do, how to do things the right way. Really, when you're a freshman, watching those older guys do it, you just want to buy in. It's going to make you want to buy in because they've done it. They've won national championships. So you cannot not listen to them because they've done it the right way and it's worked for them. So you just buy into what the older guys have to say. And then I want to say our strength coach, Coach Kramer. Man, I don't know where he came from or how he operates, but he's been there since day one with this program, and he is a real testament to why this program is successful because of the lessons he teaches us as players and just as people as well, life lessons. So I want to say our strength coach, the upperclassmen, and then the Bison Pride tradition that we have, the older guys that'll come back, the alumni. There's a lot. There's a lot within all that, but just a tradition that hard-nosed Bison football, it's second to none. So I don't even know what to say about that, but it just sets us apart.
Oh man, a lot of people try to duplicate it, man, but I don't think the blueprint could be laid anywhere outside of where
Yeah.
you guys have laid it. So a lot of props to you guys, man. But I get asked a lot because I cover the FBS, FCS on this show, and a lot of people in big cities are asking me, why would a kid ever want to go to Fargo? How is that a recruiting destination? But like you said, you guys have had a lot of NFL players, you guys have a lot of athletes on this squad. So if you were the recruiter, man, pitch to me. Why should I consider Fargo in North Dakota State?
Facilities. We have FBS type facilities. We're having what was it, 35, $40 million indoor facility that's getting built right now as we speak. Indoor practice field, outdoor practice field, weight room, training station, fueling station, I should say, rooms, study rooms, whatever it may be. That's just getting built. What we already have, we have our own Fargo dome, so it's not like we're playing outside in the cold. So that's the good part. With our own locker room facilities in the Fargo dome, we have our new shack, which is the basketball arena, but it has our new weight room and our athletic complexes that are second to none. And then just a tradition, the fan base. Like you're not going to see packed stadiums consistently than ours. We are packed consistently. It's not like 2,000 people are going to show up, maybe this game, that game. You're going to get a consistent 17 to, which the full capacity is about 19, 20,000. You'll get a consistent 17,000 people in the Fargo Dome cheering for you. So there's nothing like it. It's a real game day experience, and what's not? Well, why would you not? Why would you not come to NDSU?
Oh man, I like it. He said, if you want that ring, you have to come through Fargo.
Yes, sir.
And I'm pretty sure North Dakota State still has not lost in the Fargo Dome in the FCS playoffs either. So if you got to come to Fargo, it's probably not going to end well for you as well. So I love it, man. But the head guy right now, Matt Entz, head coach for North
Yep.
Dakota State, man. What is he like behind the scenes, man? And what is his relationship like with the players in the locker room?
He's a players coach. He's always asking us how we are, asking about the family. I don't know. I feel like like I said before, I have a deeper connection with him. He's recruited me, my brother, a couple of my teammates before, so I've seen him for years now, and he knows my stepdad, who's my head football coach. He knows him very well, and they'll talk. He's been to my house before. Him and Coach Kleiman been to my father's house. Um, so he's a good guy. He's obviously in coach mode. He's coach, and then out of coach mode, he's a regular guy, asking questions, conversing with people. Um, and he's when he's not with us, he's with his sons, who are also football players and baseball players. So he's a family guy, and he's a good guy.
Oh man, I like it. And apparently he's doing something right, man. He has you guys playing as hard as y'all possibly can for him. But and in your recruiting pitch, man, you talk about the attendance, man. It's because you guys play in the best conference in FCS right now, the Missouri Valley. And you mentioned any given week you can get caught, especially with South Dakota State, North Dakota, South Dakota. I mean, what Western Illinois. I mean, the list goes on and on. Youngstown State as well. For you, how tough is to grind throughout the season playing in the Missouri Valley Conference?
It's honestly one of the hardest things I've ever done. These teams are not like these are potentially players that could be on Power Five rosters that maybe just were under recruited or whatever it may be. Like who do I go up against? Omar Brown from University of Northern Iowa, who just entered the transfer portal. Probably one of the best corners I've played against. Should be on a Power Five roster, but who knows what happened that he ended up at UNI, which wasn't a bad decision for him. But it's just like there's like a lot of talented players out there that don't get that recruiting to go Power Five, that end up go FCS, and they end up in the Missouri Valley, which is, like you said, one of the hardest conferences. And these guys are playing to get to the league. They're not playing just to play their 4 to 5 years and go get a 9 to 5. They're playing to try to get to the league. They have dreams too to play at the next level. It's just it wasn't Power Five, so they're at their next destination, and everyone's playing. I feel like being at NDSU, everyone's playing their best game against us. Doesn't matter what they could be 0-5, 0-8, whatever it may be. When they play us, they're going to give us their best shot, and that's going to be a physical, aggressive game, no matter who we're playing. So it's a grind. It hurts. Practice hurts in the Missouri Valley, getting ready for these big teams that have either dominant receivers or some big, strong running backs or big safeties and corners, whatever it may be. So if you're going to the FCS, you want to play in the Missouri Valley.
Hey man, it's the mecca of FCS football. You guys in the Big Sky right now have it locked down. I think when you watched the FCS playoffs, I think you saw, why the Big Sky and Missouri Valley get all the credit. But you mentioned practices, man. Listen, and I know the defense, number one in the country this year. Offense also led the country in some major statistics as well. You guys have it all around. But how competitive are the Bison practices throughout the season, man? Between the big O line, the big physical D line, the DBs, and you guys at the wide receiver spot. Walk me through a week in practice. How competitive is it?
Broken face masks, broken fingers, broken ankles, broken foots. O-line, D-line one-on-ones are probably some of the nastiest one-on-ones I've ever seen. It's like these guys don't even know each other anymore. They're eating breakfast this morning, and now they're going one-on-one against each other. It's like they don't even remember who they are, and they're going after. And that's just how we do things here. Like, yeah, you're on our team, but since you are the best player at your position, best defense in the country, I got to give you my best. So going up against the defenses, because obviously they know all of our plays offensively. Fall camp is so hard to do things on them. We got to be really sound in our details when we're on offense, because our defense knows everything that we do. So it's just all about, can we execute it better than they execute their defensive play. So, man, they're aggressive, in your face, trash talking. It's like, yeah, like I said, it's like they don't even remember who you are. You're their enemy that day at practice, and then after we're best friends right after. So I think that's what makes us better players, is how hard we go in practice, full pads, half pads, whatever it may be. So we definitely get aggressive when it comes to against our own, good on good.
Oh man, I like it. And so you've been around campus for a long time now, man. Entering your final year this upcoming year. When you look back at the freshmen that stepped on campus, when you first got to North Dakota State compared to the player you are today, how do you think your game has evolved since then?
Everything slowed down. Freshman year, I knew I was going to play right away, so everything was spinning. Fall camp, I was learning one receiver position, and then towards the end of fall camp, going in our first game, I was told to learn the other receiver position, so I was spinning. During the season, you're supposed to know your position. I was still learning, still trying to figure out where to line up, blah, blah, blah. So I was going crazy freshman year. But now everything, I could play any position, receiver wise, Z, F, X, Y, whatever it may be. I can go in any spot, backfield. So I know the playbook like the back of my hand, and that just takes time to learn. And when you get that stuff down, it just makes everything easier. It helps you play faster, play more confident. And I feel like, I'm as confident as I ever been. And I can't wait to get another spring ball in, another fall camp in, just learning the playbook again for the fourth or fifth time. So I'm gonna be ready to go this fall. It's gonna be crazy.
Oh man, I'm excited. But this last part of the interview, man, just to get people to know you,
Mm-hmm.
who, a lot of people wish they could know the players a little bit better, man. That's why I like to structure the end of the interview to get to, promote you guys. So looking at your game, man, which NFL wide receiver do you think your game models the most?
I think realistically, well, in a perfect world, I would say I'm like I'd say Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen.
Ooh.
He came from University of Mankato, a D2 school in Minnesota. Not the fastest guy in the world, not the biggest guy in the world, but he works hard. He's efficient. He's consistent, and he's a great leader. I've watched Adam for a long time. I have other favorite receivers, but if I had to say who I play like or who I want to play like, would be Adam Thielen. His ability to make people miss, his ability to deceive a defensive back on the route by not, obviously he doesn't run a 4.2. He's probably like a 4.4, low 4.5 guy, which I think I'm right there too. So I feel like we have a lot of similar skill sets. The way how he contorts his body to catch balls over his shoulder, and then just his ability to execute whatever play. He'll go block for one of the other receivers. He does it all, and I admire Adam Thielen a lot.
Hey man, team player, and he does not get enough credit for how good he is.
Mm-hmm.
He had an outstanding year,
Yep.
until he got injured this season. But looking at you as a player, man, before game day, I know, a lot of people are superstitious nowadays. I know when I was playing, I was very superstitious. I had to listen to one song before I had to go on the field every game. For you, man, walk me through your pregame routine on game days.
So game day, wake up, take a shower right away, early, blast some music. So I'm blasting music, showering, and then picking out my walking into the Fargo Dome game fit. So we always get pictures before we walk in. So I'm picking out a nice fit, some shoes, and then go to the Fargo Dome, do whatever we got to do. And then, like you said, the song, I listen to one song before I go out to warm up, and then before we go out again to go to the national anthem, Down Below by Roddy Ricch. I don't know why or how that got to be my go-to song, but I was listening one time my freshman year, and that's when I was like really nervous because it was the first game of the season. I was starting that game. I don't know why I was starting, but I was starting. I was nervous, couldn't calm down. My calves started to get tight, like I was gonna cramp up. And I was just listening to music, and then that song came on and just calmed me down a little bit. And ever since 2018, it's my go-to song before I go out there. So yeah.
Oh man, I like it. Shout out to North Dakota State's, social media department. Man, they promote you guys so well with every picture. You guys are tagged. They edit them up. I mean, you guys have the cleanest social media in the FCS by far.
I don't know how we got Scott's like the head guy. I think he used to work at ESPN and Penn State University, I believe. And when we got him and we got some other staff people that Scott picked out and whatever it may be, we've been taking off. And it's a big credit. Like, I know me being a social media guy, my teammates, it's crazy because a lot of teams don't have this type of coverage, this type of media. And we get this every single game for what was this 15 straight weeks of content. So it's crazy, and it's definitely something that we're not going to take, or something we don't take lightly, because that's a big deal, especially at university recruiting. Kids want pictures these days. That's just how things are. I know a lot of people are going to come to us because of our ability to help them get their brand out as well. So it's crazy. And big hats off to the media team.
I agree, man. I mean, it's hard to find some pictures for thumbnails and things like that. Anytime we cover North Dakota State, it's covered, man. So
Yep.
shout out to those guys. But man, without giving away all your trade secrets, if you're one on one with the DB, what's the number one mistake he can make
Yep.
against you?
Number one mistake, if you're guarding me, is to let me get on your toes. A lot of defensive backs back up a lot off the line. It's called a motor technique or whatever. They'll just back up and then kind of just watch for you go and follow you. I feel like you give me that, I get a chance to run up on your toes. I can go wherever I want to go at that point. So I'd say don't let me get on your toes and go from there.
You said you go get burnt real quick if you
Real
let
quick.
them do that. But man, DBs, we've had a lot of players on here, and wide receivers always snitch on the DBs and say how big of trash talkers they are. But for you, man, do you talk a lot of trash during the game, or you just to yourself going to make plays?
Man, I don't shut up on the field. I'm always talking. Um, I don't know how I start, but it just always starts every game. I'm going at it with some DB. I mean, I guess it's because we do block a lot as receivers, so we're always into the DB's chest. Like they hate getting blocked, they hate it. So we'll go after it all game long. I'm fighting for my life sometimes, going at these guys. It gets crazy. I've had referees come up to me trying to give me chances to shut up before they give me a personal foul. So I talk too much, I'd say, but it
I
helps. It
I
helps me.
love it. I love it. You are the first North Dakota State player we finally found the trash talker of the team. Because everybody we've had on here is like, man, that's not me. I don't talk trash. I don't talk trash. I'm like, someone on the team's got to talk
Yeah.
trash. But outside of you, man, who's the biggest trash talker on on the defensive side? You got the offense locked down, but across from you, who is the biggest trash talker on defense for you guys?
I want to say it's got to be our safety number 2, Dawson Weber. He's from Sacramento, California. So he'll talk his trash for sure. He'll talk his trash, and I love it. I see him out there in the game talking trash. I'm right there with him. I'm on the sidelines while he's out there on defense. I'm talking trash with him to the guy that he just hit or tackled. So he
Oh
gets
man.
going. So I'd say Dawson Weber for sure.
I love it. I'll have to ask him, man. He's supposed to be coming on soon. So I'll have to ask him about the trash talk during
Yeah.
the games. But man, looking, three-time champ in your career already. I mean, you've accomplished just about everything you can at the college level. But for you, what are your goals for the 2022 season, your final year at North
Yeah.
Dakota State?
Well, first and foremost, obviously, it's always about the team. So obviously, another championship, conference championship first, national championship second, team success. And then for myself personally, I know I have a lot of things that I haven't done yet. Never been, I have no accolades to my name, All American, um, whatever accolades there are, or Missouri Valley conference, whatever. I have no accolades to myself as a receiver. So I know I want to put way more good stuff out there on film that shows that I am a complete receiver because I feel like I haven't done enough of that yet. And that's something ultimately why I came back for a 5th year is to show that I am the dominant receiver that I show a little bit of in some plays here and there. But I'm coming back to take it all and show people that, it's not just a one Sproles in the NFL. There's going to be 2 someday. So I'm gonna get there, and I'm just gonna put up some numbers and show people what I can do.
Ah, man, I love it. I love it. So, man, you can't pick the Fargo Dome. That's too easy for you. I can't give you that. I can't give you that.
Okay.
What other program has the best environment outside of North Dakota State that you've played in?
Environment or climate?
Environment.
Environment. Okay. Shoot, that's easy. I don't know why it took me so long. South Dakota State. 2019, we played there. It was college game day was there as well. Place was packed, loud. Couldn't hear anything. Fans were going crazy, sold out. Every time we play against South Dakota State there or home, obviously it's in the Fargo Dome, but playing at their place is packed. They have a nice stadium. Dana Dyke House, I believe. It's a nice stadium, and their fans are crazy and loud, and it just makes it feels like a real college game day experience.
Man, I've heard that a lot, man. I got to get to some of these Missouri Valley games, man. I'm from the South,
Yeah,
so haven't
yeah,
had a chance yet. So I got to get up to the Fargo Dome
yeah.
very, very soon. Some of these other places, man. But I did a little research on you, man, and I saw you played punter in high school. You played a lot of positions. Have you talked to your special needs coordinator for your last year? Can we get a punt off next year?
Man, I would love to punt once. I know I could because I've seen like, some schools that just have punters that just roll out and just kick it for like 20, 30 yards. I could do that. But I was kicking like a nice 40. I was kicking a nice 40 yards in high school, I think. 35, 40, give or take. So I definitely deserve a shot. So maybe for my 5th year, I think my special teams coordinator would give me that opportunity. I'll let you know on that one though.
I Hey, let me know. I'll drop the highlight
There
tape
you
and
go.
everything. I'm like, gotta get my and you should tell them, man, if y'all make the championship, the
Yep.
final punt, instead of taking a knee, just
Yep.
let's let you put it out of bounds
Let me
for your
let me
senior
feel it. And
moment.
then if I'm shoot, let's hope I don't miss it though, because that would be the national
Oh, that
champion.
that's true. That's true. It's on ESPN. You got to at least hit it, man. I'm
You're
vouching
right.
for you out here, so
All
can't
right.
let me down, man. But listen, man. Last question. I'm expecting you to get your name called, 2 Aprils from now in the NFL draft
Mhm.
after this season, man. If an NFL franchise asks you what they're going to get if they draft Phoenix Sproles, what do you tell them?
You're gonna get more than just a player. I feel like, my time here at NDSU, I've been involved in the community. I've got my name out there. I think I'm a genuine person. I'm not just football, um, and that's just like social media. This is more things that are no more things that there are about me than just football. And I think going to NFL franchise, you want more than just a football player. You want someone that's going to do the right things on and off the field. Someone that's going to be on time when they say they're. Someone that's going to when I say something, I mean it. If I tell a coach I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there on time. So just someone that's responsible, someone that wants to better that franchise, bring new fans. I just want to be more than just a football player. I think that's the easiest way to say it. I want to bring more, whether it's more kids to the program, more kids, kids that follow me, they go to start loving that NFL team, faculty, anyone I've ever met. I just want to bring all that with me to that next franchise.
Oh man, that's a great answer, man. Listen, that's an NFL Man of the Year award,
I
speech right there, man.
I'd love to be one of those for sure.
Oh man, hey, it could be in your future, man. I know we'll be rooting you on
Hmm.
heavy. Anyone we got come on the show, man, I'm tuned in. I mean, you guys could do anything, and I'm like, that's my guy. Got to get
Yep.
them. You got to get them their shine, man. But thank you so much for coming on the show, man. Congratulations on your national championship, your third one, man. The rings are. You're gonna have to get a bigger ring case by the end of your
Okay.
career, man. I love it. But listen, man, it's all about promoting the players on this show, man. As much as you guys are giving me your time, go ahead and drop your social media, man. Any NIL shout outs and also any family, friend, teammate shout outs you want to give. This time is yours to talk about anything you want, man.
First and foremost, thank you for having me on this show. Thank you for reaching out to me. You did a good job with my teammates. I watched their interviews as well. So shout out to you. Uh, Shout out to the family. Shout out to my NDSU family, my brothers. Shout out to God. Shout out to Game Face Training, where I train at in the off season back in Minneapolis. Go check it out. And good one. Shout out to Cuts right here. Got the package today. Cuts clothing. Patrick Mahomes wears it. You can too. So that's all I got.
Man, and guys, all the cuts link is on Phoenix's Instagram profile and social media. So make sure to hit the link when you go and follow him, man, and make sure to go follow him on all social media. I'll have his Twitter handle and Instagram handle linked in the description below, man. So make sure to go check him out on both social media and his road to 4 rings and North Dakota State's road to 10. Never going to be touched again. Greatest dynasty in sports, in my opinion. But guys, for Phoenix, myself, and the Bluebloods guys, we are out for right now.
Thank